Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. Presents Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert, a show that shines a light on spiritual growth, health, purpose, and financial education. It's time to emerge and begin to live out your dreams, walk into your destiny, while making a difference in the lives of many.
Welcome to Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert. I am your host, and I am so excited to come before you another Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. This is going to be a phenomenal Thursday because we have an amazing guest he is one of my top one man in the world. Other than Jesus Christ and my daddy, he's up there that high because I truly respect and honor this gentleman that you will hear on today's show. But before we get into the show, I just want to kind of let you know that this show is being sponsored by Women Emerge Network, a network created for women, men, and children to help bring families' dreams, destiny, and their businesses together. This show will introduce you to leaders, experts, and motivators who share their journeys and their stories through professional growth, personal growth, and knowledgeable tips and lessons learned that will empower you to grow. It is time, y'all. It is time to grow your mind, your spirit, your brand, your business. And today we will talk about your finance. I'm excited because today's show, I'm smiling so hard, y'all, because I'm telling y'all going to love this show because we're going to talk about the truth about money. We spend it all the time. We want it all the time. We invest it all the time. We actually go on vacation with it all the time. But what is the truth behind money? Our guest speaker, Mr. Tony Chamblee, will be actually talking about not just the truth about money, but we're going to introduce a concept that many people may not know about. But today, you're going to find out about it. And every second Thursday, you will learn more about the infinite banking concept. So before we kind of get into Mr. Chamblee, I'm going to introduce you to him. So who is Mr. Tony Chamblee? He is the CEO and president at Core Financial Partners, also certified IBC practitioner with Nelson Nash Institution. Tony believes in helping people grow their wealth through efficiency of money and with cash flowing assets over cash accumulation. Tony teaches his clients wealth outside of Wall Street and takes them through a unique process that shows how non-traditional money methods can accumulate into true and lasting financial success. Tony focuses on impacting his community through financial education and pride himself in helping individuals, families, and entrepreneurs employ the infinite banking concept. With Tony, every one of his clients' goal becomes his crusade. So please welcome to the show, Mr. Tony Chamblee. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yes, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Melissa, in introducing me that way, and it's most humbling, and inviting me on. This is exciting for me. I don't do too many shows, but things about to change. The word needs to get out there when it comes to the truth of money and how IBC really works. And I know you believe in what we're doing, and you see what the community at large is benefiting from because of our teachings and our education that we're giving. And so I'm excited to be able to be on this show today.
Absolutely. And I am just in awe of just not only you, but your wife as well, and what you both have accomplished over these years. I've known you over a decade now, and your mission has never changed. Your love has never changed. Your purpose have never changed. And you truly began to serve God's people on purpose through understanding what money is. And we talk about this topic, the truth about money, but when people hear that, what does that mean when you say the truth about money? How do you explain that and express that to us on this show today?
Yes, I definitely share that. Before I go over that, something came to mind when you was introducing me. This was said to me in my early years of pursuing what I thought would make a difference in my financial future. Someone said to me, wealth is most talked about and least studied. And so that happened in 2009 when I heard that. And I immediately started studying about how money works, how basic economics works. And what I come to find out is that we can go through years of school. We can go through grade school, high school, college. We can go and get our master's, PhDs, and everything else. But in most households and most institutions, most people are not learning the truth about money or learning anything when it comes to financial education from a perspective of knowing truly what's going on to know what to do. So that's what my mentor said to me. He said, when you know what's really going on, you can know what to do. And that's Mr. Nelson Nash. So what is the truth about money? The truth about money is that we have been given financial indoctrination versus financial education. And so when I really summed that up and really dug into what that really means, most of us has been directed to do certain things with our money, right? Bring your money to me, right? That's what the powers that be, the institutions and the conglomerates have done. And they end up, creating a problem that they have the solution to, and they get a chance to benefit from it. And that's, to me, called indoctrination, when it comes to retirement, savings, investing, things of that nature. So what we're pursuing to do, Melissa, is that we want people to know what's really going on. And to me, it starts with basic economics. And so what we've learned at the Nelson Nash Institution is what is basic economics. And we have those resources, and we have workshops, and we have seminars that I'm just continue to share those things about truth about money.
Wow. So basically what we're about to do is break the indoctrination that has been upon us for all these years, the things that's been given to us and taught to us. And, we need to now break that to now come into a newness of understanding how money works. Am I correct?
Absolutely. That is true. Yes, it is.
Good. I'm glad that core does exist because, again, we've been taught the wrong way for so long that we don't really know how for this money to really work for us. So can you tell us a little bit about your company CORE's mission and its objectives?
Sure. I'm going to go through our mission first. Our mission is a 4S mission, is where we take our clients from survival to security, then success, and then to significance. Different clients or whoever we're working with, wherever they are when they come to us, we're getting them to the next step. So they might not start off at survival, because at survival, you're just not even being able to take care of the things that you have to take care of throughout your life. And then we want to build it up to that you can take care of everything responsibly and be able to also put some money to the side. Then from there, you build to security. That's the second step. Security is just really having 6 months of your income put away, for the rainy day. And it doesn't end up there. It starts there. Once you get 6 months of your income, we want to build it to 12 months. We want to build it to 2 years. So security is having at least, at minimum, 6 months of your income put away. Then success is actually putting yourself in a position where you're taking your reserves that you built up and saved and put to the side, and you buy income-producing assets. Because success is not really positioning yourself to retire. It's more so positioning yourself with income-producing assets, because one of my mentors made it very clear. It's about cash flow. How much money are you having be made for you without you having to go to work for it? So success, that's what that's all about. How long can you go, without working and still survive? So we want to create income-producing assets and help our clients to create income-producing assets that goes on forever to the point they can leave it to the next generation as well. And then that's the last one is significance. That's when you get the fourth step. Significance is actually leaving the blueprint to people in your family, in your community that you care about. That's what significance is. Because one person said to me one time, legacy is what you do for yourself dies with you. The truth of a legacy is what you do for others live on forever. So That's what significance is about. Are you going to leave the blueprint once you figure out and you put the pieces to the puzzle together, or are we going to leave the blueprint for those that come behind us or come beside us? And that's what the mission is all about when it comes to Core Financial Partners. Our mission is real simple. Our vision is real simple. Our vision is providing financial awareness and education that brings prosperity. So it kind of supports each other. That's our vision, to see everyone that have the awareness, right, that now they have the education that brings prosperity. Because when you know what's going on, you know what to do. And last but not least is our philosophy. Our philosophy is that more money doesn't get or keep you out of a financial situation. Only financial education does. If you think about those that are fortunate enough to get money like almost overnight through their talents or they're being blessed, right? You have entertainers, you have athletes, you have lottery winners, right? These individuals get money in the millions. But one thing we're finding that's common is that most of them, when it stops coming in, they end up losing it all away like they never received it. Matter of fact, it's been proven that most end up worse off after having the money, worse off than they were before they got the money, right? Mm-hmm. And have you ever heard this, the saying about money make you more who you are. And if you haven't grown up to your money, it's like a rubber band, we used to call it. The rubber band effect is if you get all this money and you haven't grown or matured with the money bounced right back to where it was or worse. And that's what we believe it's important to not take this for granted. It's just not being no one is ringing a bell to say that's the problem, that's the issue, that's the missing piece to the puzzle. And I'm here to do that. We're here to make sure everyone knows that it is learnable, it's teachable, and anyone can learn it. It's not numbers like people think, it's concepts.
Wow. I am just in awe of this Core's mission, vision, and just the value, especially the 4 S's, because many of these listeners, and I'm going to be honest, many of us are at the survival mode. Many of us cannot say we have secured 6 months of our income. Many of us cannot say we have put aside 6 months of our income and we're building from 6 months to 12 months to 24 months of income to put aside so we can move into success, where we're able to put that, we have created, and now buy income producing assets. We can't really say that. And forget the last S, where we're building blueprints, to leave forth to our families, so I love that you're taking us through a step-by-step process, and we can begin to start seeing the growth from where we are from survival to significance. So, and just to know the vision, providing awareness, education that leads into prosperity, I truly believe it starts with us knowing. The Bible even tells us, write the vision, but make it plain. We can't make it plain if we don't understand the vision. We don't understand how money works, or how to use it, and how to save it. If we don't know, we basically, lack of knowledge is how we perish, right? So I'm glad that Core exists for this purpose. So can you now give us an idea when you say financial education, because you also mentioned financial education. A lot of people out here get the money, but because of lack of financial education, they blow the money, right? So when you say financial education, exactly what do you mean by that?
Yeah, financial education is being aware of how money really works. And the thing that is, I'm finding 3 main factors when it comes to this. We've been taught the basic of accounting costs, but not many of us have been taught the importance of opportunity costs. Opportunity cost is the value of the dollar, what it will grow to you in the future, right? Well, we exchange money for whatever services or goods for our needs, wants, and desires. I'm finding that we're doing it too frivolously, too loosely, without doing the true calculation of what is the time value of my money if I kept it in my account for 5, 10, 15, 20 years in the future. And so opportunity cost is what would it grow to those 5, 10, 15, 20 years in the future. That's what opportunity cost is. It's unfortunately that concept It's not being taught nowhere other than if you go to corporate finance classes or you took maybe economic class in college, and it's not being narrowed down to how you use it in your own personal life. It's being set up and it's being utilized through, the big corporations and big banks that we live amongst. So opportunity cost versus accounting cost is number one. Get that down, understand that. That's one of the first things I go over in every workshop and every seminar that we conduct. The second thing is balancing a checkbook versus knowing how to read a financial statement. Like we've been taught, I don't know if they still do it in school today, but they taught us when I was young, and I'm on the other side of 50. When I was in high school, they taught us how to read and take care of a checkbook. And the thing that was never taught is a financial statement. A financial statement is a really simple exercise to be able to be taught as well as to learn. And to me, it's all about understanding, okay, what is the column for my expenses versus, the column for my income? And what is my column working for my balance sheet, which could be, like your assets versus your liabilities, and knowing the difference between the two. When indoctrination kicks in, it's saying this to us. It's saying your car is an asset, your house is an asset, and that's not the truth. Here's what an asset is, and it's straight line. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket, right? A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. One of my mentors and one of the people I follow talks about it all the time, Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. And if you haven't read any of his books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, things of that nature, that information in there is in there over and over and over again. So once again, making sure we know the difference between a liability and an asset, and we should be building our income and building our resources up, that money that you want to get to 6 months of income, 12 months, so forth and so on. You want to do that to buy assets, and they should be income-producing assets. Too many of us are being taught on putting money in positions where it's just accumulating for the future when you're retirement. What about before retirement? Why not build assets that can take care of a good lifestyle and that you can give and do more than you ever did ever before? We dream about it, but the principle of money is now putting the action as well. And we have to teach these principles and teach these different true educational things versus the indoctrination. The last thing is credit is not for spending. Credit should be for earning. We live in a society, Melissa, is where we're getting credit, feeling good about our credit scores over 700, and we go out and spend money, right? I truly believe that entrepreneurship should be in every household, right? Whether you're working a brick and mortar or you're working from home. And if you're doing so, you should be building something that you can earn money with. Your credit should be worked on. And if you're a person under the sound of my voice and you have it already over 700, God bless you. Find a way to use it to make money, not to use money to go on vacation, holidays, birthdays, and things of that nature. And if you do use credit, you're only using it to pay it back within 30 days to get the interest. To get the points they're going to give you, not to acquire or, suck in all of the interest and cost for the credit we use, because that right there is a wealth killer. And so that's one of the things. Those are the three things I would say that really I believe should be in reverse from the curse into financial education.
Ooh, it needs to be reversed from the curse. Is that what we just said?
That's what it is. I believe it's a curse. I believe we've been all cursed when it comes to our money.
Come on. Oh, my goodness. I just, every time you talk, it excites me because it's not being talked about. You are truly a breath of fresh air. And I remember sharing this with you. There are certain people that I believe God calls to financial freedom. Not finance, to bring people out of the bondage of financial issues. And I believe that you're like that Moses for finance for people, because you have gone through so much in early years that you had to learn from it, where now you've grown from it where now you can teach it. And your bed wasn't so rosy back in the days, and you had so much hiccups, but from the hiccups brought you to this place. When did that happen for you? Because I mean, you didn't just became you weren't born core, right? Core
No, not at
became.
all. Nowhere near it.
So when did this transformation of the mind came into
Sure.
play for you where you decided like, wow, I didn't know. I did not know the truth about money, but now I know. I'm going to learn it to the point I can teach it, to the point I can help people understand and see it. When did that light bulb come on for you as an individual?
Sure. Um, I have to go back to like when I went into entrepreneurship. I had a traditional corporate job. I was working for Sprint PCS. I helped them launch this, the cell phones that we use today in the late 1900s before we hit 2000. And I ended up getting downsized in 1999, so right before 2000. And I went into entrepreneurship, Melissa. And when I was in entrepreneurship, I found my home. I found my people, and so I ended up blossoming, and I was able to almost 5 times my income what I was making in corporate America, and I was doing fairly well in corporate America, to where I come from. I come from a single parent, grew up in the projects, but so at this time, my wife and I married, 5 kids, went to full-time entrepreneurship, 5 times my income. So we had a nice 7-8 year run. By 2007 or 8, the market crashed, for those that remember at that time. And some other things had to happen with my business model. And we switched business ventures at that time, my wife and I. And making that switch in the middle of a crash at the same time, because I was going into real estate at that time. And so all these things were happening, and I'm like, wow, what's happening to all my money? And I realized that, wow, how are those individuals or other individuals able to make it through this? Right, business is still standing and people still being able to build their retirement, because a lot of us lost 40 to 60% of what we had put to the side. And so I remember picking up my first book about about money. It was Why We Want You to Be Rich. And I'm looking at this book and reading this book and reading through it. I remember it was the summer of 2007, and that phrase went across there, and that's our philosophy to this day, that more money doesn't get or keep you out of a financial situation. And I was like, that's true, because I 5 times my income, and I felt like in 2008, after the crash was in the middle of it, after we was in the middle of the crash, that I was worse off than I was before I made 5 times my income. When it all crashed and my business model changed to a new one, I thought I can at least carry myself through the next year to 2 years based off the money I was making, and I thought I put away. No, sir.
Wow.
No, ma'am. It totally made me pay attention to money. From that moment on, that summer of 2007, I was laser focused on learning about money. By 2009, my wife and I did it together, learning, going to seminars, learning from mentors, learning from the people we believe and trusted with the education they was giving us. 2009, we then got licensed and got into the industry, and then building it in those years and really putting the activity in and paying attention to the details. By 2014, we believe it was time for us to have our own firm and really focus it in on financial education.
Wow. Look how just a look of your, sometimes we don't see ourselves, we don't see our life, we don't see what's going on, we don't observe that our money, you use analogy when we do our seminar with you, there's a bucket leak or a leak in the bucket, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens to us each and every day. But until we can figure out where the leak is, we don't know how to fix it. And you figured it out to the point where you decided in 2014, let's build our own, because now we have learned a philosophy. Now we can teach this philosophy to many. So when it comes to your business concept and your core financial partners, you're on this crusade, but you actually initiated with something that many people don't even know about, infinite banking concept. And you talked about Nelson Nash Institution, which is where you got your IBC license. So if we can, before we talk about infinite banking concept, your mentor, Nelson Nash, can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to really go that route through that institution to get your IBC and to now begin this concept here with your core business, your core financial partners, and say, you know what, we're going to teach infinite banking concept. So tell us more about your mentor, and then lead us into why infinite banking concept.
Sure. Mr. Nelson Nash really discovered the infinite banking concept through his own challenges in the 1970s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, where, he had quite a few different endeavors. He was a pilot at one time. He did also farming. He also was an insurance agent at one time, and he was a real estate investor. I mean, he did a lot of things, and it so happened to through all of his issues he was going through, where the market went up on interest on real estate properties he owned. It went from 8 to 9% up to 25%. Think about somebody having to pay 25% on interest on a house. And if you own a $500,000 house, 25% is $100,000 a year just on interest. So wow. He had to figure out how do he resolve that issue, and it just had him on his knees at night trying to figure out this issue, along with, at the same time, he lost his brother. And, a lot of things was happening in his life. And on his knees, it came and popped in his head that you're sitting on a opportunity to become your own banker through a specially structured account through an insurance company. It's called Equity Reserves, and it's done with a special design whole life contract. And here's why I decided this is the way to go, Melissa. I decided this is the way to go because one of the things that was said to me that, certain things that are said to me that I stick with, I meditate on, I pray about it. And one of the things that was said to me, don't do what the banks say, do what the banks do. And I said, oh, wow. Okay, so what do banks do? So that's where basic economics come in at, finding out that the banks, they have a lot going on in what they do with their money. And some of the things are good and some are not. And so the more I learned what banks do, here's what they do with their reserves. They put them in the exact same spot I just mentioned to the listeners to put their money in. They put them in a special design whole life contract, not IUL, not term, special design whole life contract that's structured for banking purposes, for acceleration of the money to grow, not for death benefit. However, though, if it's set up properly, the death benefit is going to explode because of the way you set it up. So you're still going to take care of the need of having, having death benefit to leave behind for legacy purposes to you and to your family or whatever charity you want to leave it behind with. But it's built as a bank. And one thing he said to us, he said, look, if you look at a president of a bank and see all the duties of a bank president, you write them all down, and then you put beside that column, right, a president of a mutual insurance company, because it has to be done inside of a mutual insurance company, and you put all their duties down, everything they have to do to run that operation, to run that company. Do you know if we put something over the titles, the president of the bank versus the president of the insurance company, the mutual insurance company, you wouldn't know which job was which CEO you were talking about. The president, you wouldn't even know which one it is. The reason and the point of this is that they have the exact same role. They ran the exact same way. We just taught of life insurance, particularly through whole life through a mutual insurance company that's dividend paying. We're taught as it is for necessary. It's necessary for death. It's only for death benefit, and not being taught all the other intangibles that it has built inside of it. They're so flexible, and they can be engineered so many different ways that it blew my mind when I saw how these things could be used. Now, this is my point here. When I did my study on banks, do you know banks have 75% of their Tier 1 investments out of an insurance contract like that? The same one that you and I own, and we go and just use it for death benefit, they're using it for living benefits. There's about a dozen different benefits inside of one of these contracts that's hidden to most people. Like Mr. Nelson Ashley always say, it's in plain sight. It's there, but it's hidden from the naked eye. And so what we've been doing at Core Financial Partners, learned in colleagues with affiliates at the Nelson Nash Institution, is we bring in that thing that's in the plain sight. We're bringing it out to make sure everybody see it and they use it and they learn how to use it the proper way. And so when I learned that the banks were doing it, I did more research. And you can write this down. If you're under the sound of my voice, write down BOLI, bank-owned life insurance. You Google that, and you'll be so surprised the articles come up. Do you know since then, over the last 20, 30 years, that even now corporate America is using it? That the Fortune 1,000 companies in America, they have the same thing going on now. It's called COLI, corporate-owned life insurance. And they're using the exact same thing that we're using when it comes to the infinite banking concept. And I still have yet to find anyone in the public teaching it to the layman like you and I. And that's why Core Financial Partners is here to make sure we do so.
Wow. I mean, we have always been taught about, more likely, many, especially in the Black community, they hear more about term life insurance than anything else. And when they hear whole life insurance, they run from it because they say it's too expensive. But you're now bringing the concept of whole life insurance, and I love the way you put it, whole life contract, structured contract, which helps with accelerating the growth of your money. And I love how Core Financial Partners is doing this, because again, we are changing the game of how money works. Like you said, I love this again. I'm going to repeat you. You said don't listen to what the banks say. Do what the banks do.
That's right.
I hope you guys heard that. Yes, we want to listen to certain things that they're saying, but what we need to pay attention is their action. What are they doing? Because that's how they're growing their money. That's how they're moving money. That's how they're changing money. That's how they're making a lot of money. So we got to do what they're doing. So again, you are listening to Woman Emerge with Melissa Lambert. I have the honor to have on this show today Mr. Tony Chamblee. He is the CEO and president at Core Financial Partners. He also holds he has a certification in IBC practitioner with the Nelson Nash Institution. And we're talking the truth about money. We're also talking about the infinite banking concept, and we just talked about just a little bit about it, but I want you to kind of give us a little bit more on why do you say that the infinite banking concept makes the difference?
Sure. It makes a difference because it puts you in control of the banking function in your life, right? You now are not just using money and it's gone forever. There's three schools of thought. One school is I am going to finance what I need, want to desire, because I don't have the money to pay for it right away. I want to have a good enough credit, the bank could give me some money, and I pay them interest for using that money. That's one school of thought. The other second way to think about it is, hey, look, I don't need to and want to finance these different things of need, wants, and desire of mine because I have enough money saved. So if I want to go on vacation, take care of holidays and birthdays, take care of education, right, take care of vehicles and things of that nature, even my business, I'm going to use cash because I built up enough cash, right? Here's the flaw in that thinking and what I had to learn, because that was me. Once I had taken a Dave Ramsey class and things of that nature, I realized that I was better off. I felt like I was better off than using debt and paying interest on top of the principal I got to pay back. But I come to find out that's not true, and this is why. When you use your own savings account and you built your cash up, your hard-earned sweat equities put into saving money in any account, or it can be in whatever kind of account it is, and you say, look, okay, it's time for me to buy a car. I don't want to finance it. I'm gonna spend $30,000 to buy a car. Well, if you do that, you're giving up the ability of the opportunity cost of your money to grow in the future. When you look at the truth about money and understand the root of 72, right, and you separate yourself for a $30,000 vehicle, right? If you think about it, a vehicle depreciates, not appreciates, right? So when you buy a $30,000 vehicle with cash, that money's gone and gone forever.
Mm-hmm.
If you finance it, it's the same thing. So to me, what is the difference between those two? There's no difference. They're sisters and brothers. They almost just alike. And let me tell you why. When you finance something, right, you're going to get money from another third-party source, and they're going to charge you interest for it. When you use your own money that you saved to avoid interest, but you give up interest your money could have earned you in the future, $30,000 at a 7% rate of return would double every 10 years. So 3 cycles, let's do 3 cycles real quick, right? 30,000 one cycle is 60,000. So that's from the 10th year to the 20th year. From the 20th year to the 30th year, it goes from 60 to 120,000.
Mm-hmm.
One more time, $120,000 in the third cycle to $240,000 is what it would be. 3 cycles of $30,000 would be $240,000. Is that vehicle worth $30,000? I mean,
No.
worth $240,000 is the question.
No.
But because we
Wow.
don't know the truth about money, we separate ourselves with 20, even $1,000 I don't separate myself from anymore. I use the infinite banking concept because that adds up. I can do the math on that, and it blows me away when I do the math. And before 2014, that was my banking. I banked like traditional banks. I either finance something, paid interest on top of the principal, or turned around and saved my own money and used the money and spent it away from me. Money gone forever. But when you use the third method, the infinite banking concept method, you're going to position your money inside of this contract. You can borrow against the contract, not from the contract. So if you have $30,000 there, the insurance company would gladly and guarantee you in writing, they would lend you $30,000, right? So they lend you $30,000. You go buy the car, enjoy your car for the next 5 to 10 years, but your $30,000 is still there. So now the way you would have paid the financer back in the first option, where you pay interest, you then pay them back with interest. But here's the deal. Here's the difference maker, is that the interest you're paying back is the mutual insurance company. So mutual insurance company means that you're a part owner of the company. So they are going to pay you back the interest in the form of dividends every year. So not only you're making money on interest of the guaranteed interest they give you, you're making money on dividends, because if all the parties that has a policy are using this method, all that goes into a pool of money that they're going to share the dividends with you and I every single year. Every single year. And your $30,000 in the 30 years that you kept it in that account without separating yourself from it, without touching it, if it's averaging 7%, it's going to grow to $240,000.
Wow.
It's a no-brainer when you understand it.
Yes.
And that's why we decided not to just utilize this. Latoya and I, look, it almost brings me to tears. When we think about the life-changing concept this has been for us, right, and how every dollar is reserved, right? Nelson Nash, when you read this book, Become Your Own Banker, and I suggest everybody, go to corereads.com, corereads.com, and grab that book. If you look at what he says there, when he learned this, he said, my goal is to get it up to the point that my entire income that I make in a year is going through this system. Why waste a dollar when you can reserve it and allow the opportunity cost of that money to grow? Now, I don't remember what he was making when he first decided that he was going to do this, but I know his goal was to get to $129,000 because that's what he was making in the 1980s. So he turned and spent and put $129,000 in his mutual insurance company, equity reserves. We know better. We know it as cash value, but let me share it with you. It's not called cash value when you're talking to bankers or you're talking to the financial industry. It's called equity reserves, right? So that's what he did. Now, let me share this last thing on this topic right here, that why this makes sense. And this would blew me away. And I'm like, stick a fork in it, right? I stuck about 3 or 4 different forks in this thing. So here we go. What I learned was that if your money is growing at an average about 7%, these insurance companies look at, okay, we're going to guarantee you get a loan up to 92% of what you have in here. So if you have $100,000 in here, you can call and be guaranteed no checking your credit, no seeing if you make enough money for them to get their payments back from you, because you're with the mutual insurance company that look at you as almost like a partner. So you guarantee a loan, right? Now, when you get the loan from the insurance company, they're not giving you the money that you put in there. They're giving it from your general account. So the insurance company have billions of dollars, if not trillions. So they say, keep your money here. We're going to let that whole 30 continue to grow with no interruption, right? Mm-hmm. And we gave you our 30, so now we're going to do you better than that. You pay it back the way you want to pay it back. Do you know you decide on the payment plan to pay it back? Mm-hmm. But Lisa, you can take 20 years to pay that $30,000 back if you wanted to. They don't care. The $30,000 is still there growing. And here's the deal. This is why you would want to do that. Your $30,000 that started off with, because it's not going to stay there if it's growing at 7%, let's say give or take. Let's say it's growing at 7%. If it's growing at 7% and you're only going to have to charge, they're only going to charge you 4% for the loan, the difference between 7 and 4 is 3. Do you know every dollar still get a net gain of 3%, give or take? Can you imagine all the things you were doing, Melissa, today? Right? Taking care of family, taking care of businesses, taking care of travels and everything, even the mortgage on our home. What if you can do that and still get a net 3% gain on every dollar you spend through your earnings through the whole year? Can you imagine that? But that was his goal. He did it. That's what we're pursuing now. That's what I'm helping my clients to pursue. Because the net, that's even more, your net gain is even more than you get out of a traditional bank account. Whether it's a CD, money market, or regular savings account, they don't give you 3 to 4%.
Nope.
And here, you can use the money and still get it. If you don't use the money and you eventually pay it back, you're getting the whole 7%, give or take, whatever that could be. Now, this is the closing on this, why this makes so much sense. Every dollar you put in one of these accounts buys more death benefit. Your policy might have started off at about, let's say, $500,000, right? But because you're funding it every year with $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, well, it could be, you can start off with a $5,000, $2,000. It's where you are. So I don't want anybody to get caught up in the numbers. But if you're putting $10,000 in there a year, that $10,000 is buying paid up addition death benefit. Every dollar is paying for more death. So that $500,000 that started in year 1, by year 10 could easily be $1 million. Year 15, year 20, it can be 1.5. Until you graduate, we call it. Until you go and you move on and pass away, right? Until then, it grows without stopping. The cash value can grow, and the death benefit can grow. These type of policies, these type of contracts, guarantee growth on both sides. Mm-hmm. But most people don't look at it like that. They don't understand that. They're not being taught that. Especially those that have been taught by term and investor difference. They have to do a deep dive and really look at what is the truth about whole life. When I talked about indoctrination, by term investor difference, and then on the other end, I hear people bashing these whole life policies. Why would banks use them? Why do 75% of them use them? Why do 85% of CEOs use it for their own family after they set their corporation, their company up with it? Why? Because it's magical the way this thing works. It's amazing what it does, and it can't be denied when you understand it.
Wow. This concept is truly revolutionized. Like you can it's like you're changing the game when it comes to even investing in college funding, retirement, to buy a car, to buy a house, to buy whatever big spending that you're going to do. Why not become your own bank? I like the idea of how you mentioned borrowing from yourself. You said borrow from yourself and borrow against the contract. And you said that with you borrowing against a contract, you can pay it back whenever you want. which still a growing 3%. If you gave the example 7%, out of the 7%, you have that, you say 4% goes to them and 3% still stay to you. That to me, it's more than the bank is paying you. So why would we not do this? So I just want to I know we're closing in because this is just such a great topic, and that's why I'm so happy that every second Thursday you're going to come back on and we're talking about the truth about money, because when we know better, Mr. Chamblee, we can do better. And that's what I want my audience to hear, and your audience to continue to learn and share this with so many people, because we can't be selfish no more. We can't hold this information like it's hostage and not want to give it to people that needs to know, because you are now taking something that you learn and passing it on to the next person that can pass it on to the next person. And when we do that, we're now really, to me, I look at it as we're doing a movement. It's a financial movement.
It is.
And I love what you're doing. It's a crusade. And make it be known so we can, like you said something to me, and I'm so thankful for that. You said, Melissa, core exists so Chelsea in the future don't have to go through what we have gone through.
That's right.
And I love that, because again, we want our children to be better than us and to know to learn from our mistakes and to be able to make wiser and smarter decisions, especially when it comes to money. So I'm going to ask you this final question for the listeners that did not have a clue about infinite banking concept and did not understand what that whole life policy should be and what it can be for us. Like, how can they just say, okay, I need to learn more, other than coming on every the second Thursday of the month and listening to you? How can they engage more into understanding this concept? Because to break that cycle of what we have been taught, it's not going to be overnight, Mr. Chamblee. It took you how many years to get to literally, I say, detox your mind from what the bondage of how money works, and to now understanding the truth about it. Now you're saying, I'm free from the bondage of money. Now I'm able to know how to manage it and manage it well. What can a person do right now to say, okay, let's get started?
Sure. They can go to learnmorewithcore.com. Learnmorewithcore, CORE.com. If you go there, but Toy and I took time not too long ago and did a short video series that from A to Z covers it all. Learn more with Core. LearnMoreWithCore.com. Each video is only about 2 or 3 minutes long. I think the longest one is 4 minutes. And you can get a chance to understand the concept of opportunity cost. One video covers that in 2 minutes, and you can replay it. Understanding the rule of 72 that applies in your life, because what good is to know something, not to utilize it and be able to, do your own accounting with it, right? Because I learned about the rule of 72 well before even, I got out of school. But I never applied it in my life through the accounting of my money, right? And knowing how much lost opportunity cost could be working against me, right? So go there and to watch that video. Now, if somebody's under the sound of my voice and you're in debt, if you want to you want to look at your mortgage and try to get that down quicker than 30 years, 25 years, and do it under 10 years, or you want to get rid of all the credit card debt and spend this into making money versus spending money, I want you to go to CoreDebtStrategy.com. There's a 12-minute video that will change your life, and it shows you how to use this concept with that. Let me repeat that again. It is CoreDebtStrategy.com, and watch that 12-minute video and allow that to bless you the way it's blessed many people across the country. The last one I want to give you is, if you're a reader or you want to get it on audio, all the books that is suggested is at CoreReads.com. Reads, R-E-A-D-S, CoreReads.com. Go there. The first book you'll see on the list is about a half dozen books, if not more, on there. Get the first one, then the second one at least. Those 2 books will change your life. And the first book that is the concept wrapped in a bow is only 92 pages. You would never believe that this life-changing book that we all use constantly, that I read 2-3 times a year over and over again, is only 92 pages. So I would suggest to get that book. $20 probably, give or take how much it costs, but it would change your life. We are not making any money off of this book. It's all about making sure we get the word out there.
Wow. So you gave us like it's really three websites. We have the first, Learn More with Core.com.
Yep.
We also have CoreReads.com, and we also can do CoreFinancialPartners.com, correct?
Yeah. Well, the third one, even though you can do CoreFinancialPartners.com, that's the whole website. But if you're interested in seeing how this concept can help you get out of debt most efficiently and think about all the money we're spending on our debt. What if you can reserve all those dollars and still get out of debt? And you're building wealth while diminishing and getting rid of your debt. That's what this concept can do. So go to CoreDebtStrategy.com for that one. That's a short video. That's a link to the video.
Okay, CoreDebtStrategy.com.
Yep.
Perfect.
And any of those links will allow you to be able to reach out to us here at Core Financial Partners to have a consultant work with you. I don't know how you want to do that, Melissa. If somebody does want to reach directly out to us, whatever it means you want to put that out there is up to you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Mr. Tony Chambly. I am so excited about this because every second Thursdays, we're going to talk about money, the truth about money. And we have none other than the CEO and president at Core Financial Partner, Mr. Tony Chambly. And we will teach you the truth about money. And we're going to also, Mr. Chambly is good with really diving into giving you clarity and how to establish your own infinite banking concept. That concept is a concept that will be taught through Core. Mr. Chambly and his wonderful team, they have this thing down pat, y'all. And I truly believe that this is the way to go. We need to understand how money works. And one of the things that I love about what was stated was we can't just always listen to what the banks say, but we need to also do what the banks do. And what they're doing is they're getting them whole lot policies, honey, and they're now turning that infinite banking around, and they're making their money grow faster than before. And I believe that Core Financial Partners is one of the top. To me, again, this is to me now, they're one of the toppest financial partners company firm in the United States that's really making a difference in the lives of so many. And I want you to really plug in. There is three sites that was shared. Learn more with Core.com, CoreDebtStrategy.com, and CoreReads.com. I want you to definitely take a look at all three of those sites. This one of Core Financial Partners is one of Women Emerge Network collaborative partners, and we truly believe in them. We believe in their concept. We believe in their vision. We believe in their values and their mission. And we want to see each and every one of you understand the concept of money so you can not only just make it, you can save it, and you can use it wisely, and you can see the growth from it. So thank you again, Mr. Chambly, for being here, and we are honored to be your partner and to see that you can bring such great value to our community. So thank you again, sir.
But thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to speak and share my passion with your listening audience. I really appreciate that.
You're so welcome. Again, everyone, you have been listening to Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert. Our sponsor is Women Emerge Network. Women Emerge Network, our goal is to really impact the community. You know, we want to do that by helping our families to fulfill their dreams and their destinies and bringing them together. We want to see the growth of our community by bringing resources, education, different opportunities that can help them impact not only their lives, but to actually leave a legacy for their families, right? And so how would you join Women Emerge Network? You can become a partner by going to womenemergenetwork.com, womenemergenetwork.com. And don't forget to follow me here every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do Wellness Wednesday. Every Thursday, we're here at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go to womenemergeradio.com. You can follow me on Facebook at Melissa S. Lambert. Melissa S. Lambert, that's Mellisa Lambert. And on my Facebook for my groups are Women Emerge Network or Women Emerge Wellness. On my IG is Women Emerge Now. You can definitely connect again with Women Emerge. Become a member at womenemergenetwork.com. To look at my books that I have out, you can go to Melissa, Mellisa books.com. We are so honored again to have our special guest, he will be here every second Thursday talking about the truth about money. So please don't forget to join and subscribe. Every Thursday show is live on all 12 top podcasts on all 12 top podcasts on Friday. So you can subscribe to the channel. You can go there and, listen to it over and over again. And you can also click so you can be notified when it actually goes live. So until next time, take care. Take charge and know that you are just one information away. I'm going to say this, one information away to change your financial future. Knowledge is power. When you know better, you can do better. Again, we know that this is going to be a journey. We're not going to change you overnight, but our goal is to every day to come impact your life, to give you something to show you that you can shift and begin to change into a better way so you can leave a legacy for your children. Until next Thursday, take care, take charge, and continue to be great. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert, where Melissa speaks with leaders, experts, and motivators who share their journeys and their stories through personal and professional growth, knowledgeable tips, and lessons learned that will empower you to grow. Follow Melissa and Women Emerge Network on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at MELLISASLAMBERT and at Women Emerge Network. And visit www.womenemergenetwork.com. Remember, when you know better, you can do better, especially when God is for you.